Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I have a pretty cool game for you guys. I'm playing my Hpriest, which just got nerfed, but it's still okay. In a 2v3 game, my third partner dies within the first minute or so, and then we end up playing the 2v3 out for about 20 minutes and actually winning in about 80%, almost 80-90% dampening, I believe. So pretty freaking awesome game here. So here we start. We are playing Arcane Mage, Ellie Shaman, and Holy Priest. This isn't a good comp. We just wanted to play. We were all bros hanging out, and we're like, what can we play? You know, like let's just play something. And we were playing a bunch of stuff yesterday randomly from like 1800 MMR to like 2200 MMR, just messing around. I think this might be around 2K to 2100, and my mage is just running in, my shaman's just running in, and against a Destro Warlock and a Shadow Priest, if you just run in, it's pretty difficult to heal. I could have avoided this fear with Ward or Holy, or with Ward or with Fade, and I can have also willed that as well. My mage gets stunned up, I dispel him, I get stunned up, Shadow Priest goes into that dispersion, and there's just so much pressure coming around. But if I push in, it's very difficult for me to actually heal without getting spam CC'd. So I want to kind of play on the pillar and play around line of sight, and I'm going to talk about that like later in the game because I want to show you guys how we managed to survive. But I got full silence there, and since I'm playing Relentless, I can't trinket the silence, so my mage did need to block there, or there had to be some type of preemptive Ray of Hope or something like that. But my mage nonetheless went down, and that's I don't know, kind of my fault, kind of his fault, I guess, or just kind of our team's fault. We should have stopped that, set it from happening, and if he did have to block, then he should have ice blocked. We were not in voice communication for this game. We were doing no voice games, so I couldn't tell him block or anything, but I was streaming, so I'm like, please ABN block. This is ABN by the mage, the Arcane Mage. And at this point, I think I'm typing in the chat, like, wait, do you want to actually win this? Because, like, if we try hard at this rating, and if we really just focus on not dying, I think in dampening we can actually win, and that's just because of the nature of how Holy Priest heals, and I want to talk about that a lot in this video. Holy Priest has incredible mana preservation. Look at this, I'm 96% mana, we're both full HP, and it's been a 2v3 for about a minute so far. The Pally's lower mana than me, and he has all three team members alive. So my mana preservation's coming a lot from my honor talent. It's coming a lot from just Holy Priest just have so much mana regeneration. It got nerfed by 10% recently, but it's still really strong, especially if you take the 10% mana preservation talent. Also, what I really want to talk about is just Prayer of Mending. Prayer of Mending, as you see, I put it out, it bounces to my shaman, bounces back to me. If we both have dots, and we both will have dots for most of this game because Destro and Shadow Priest both have damage over time abilities, Immolate, Shadow Word Pain, Vampiric Touch, etc. If they're on both of us, that Prayer Mending is just going to bounce back and forth. Look at this, bouncing to Shaman, bouncing back to me, bouncing to Shaman, bouncing back to me. And if I'm just keeping that Prayer Mending up, it's just going to keep us topped. Prayer Mending and Renew is going to do like 90% of my healing in this match. Overall, like throughout the entire game, that's pretty much all I'm pressing. I'm pressing some more stuff like cooldowns, some CC, some damage, avoiding CC with Holy Ward, avoiding CC with Fade, avoiding just line of sighting, stunning, avoiding CC with the stun, trying to get some pressure with the stun. But other than that, I'm just healing with Prayer, Mending, and Renew. I'm using Light of Tear when I need to actually use my burst heal, Serenity, and other times when I'm just trying to help keep up the healing output when the dampening gets rather high. And I am playing Vim and Vigor, which means if I'm 80% health, I'm doing 20% increased healing, and that's just because Holy Priest can really keep themselves above 80% most of the time. Right here, I'm dipping down a little bit, so I want to try to just line of sight, use my big heal, Serenity, 1 minute cooldown to top myself back over 80% to get that 20% healing increase to keep us both top. So if I keep myself top, I usually can keep us both topped. I want to talk a little bit about my spec as well. I am playing Piety, which means, am I saying that right? Piety? I don't know. I am playing Piety because it reduces the cooldown on Prayer Mending. I really like this talent, especially against some type of dot pressure. The more you can press Prayer Mending, reduce that cooldown, the more you can, just use Prayer Mending. Prayer Mending will just absolutely carry the HPS, and it will just carry you to victory, even in a situation like this. So that's a big deal, right? I'm not playing double Serenity. I am playing instant palm, and I'm playing piety, so I can just instant palm on a 6-7 second cooldown throughout the entire match. Keep the renews on both of us, and I have a lot of cooldowns for when we actually do get into trouble. So now you guys kind of have a grasp on how I'm keeping my team alive, or just my shaman and I alive, throughout this game, because you know exactly how I'm healing. So hopefully, for a lot of you that didn't really know, how is this even possible? If you're looking at it from an outsider, like, what? How do you stay alive to 90% dampening in a game? Well, that's really how. I'm just prayer mending, keeping up those renews, and I have a lot of cooldowns for when stuff goes bad. Also, another reason why we're really being able to stay alive is our positioning. Look at this. It's a Destro Warlock, and we're constantly running around pillars, not allowing him to spam too many Chaos Bolts out on us at a time. And if he does, we still have the grounding, we still have my stun, we still have the Ellie Shaman stun. We have so many disruptions, so if they try to actually get the Chaos Bolts off, if we find ourselves in a bad position, then we have all of those interrupts. Look at my mana. I want to note 90% mana still. Pally on the enemy team is about 40% mana. 40-50% mana, I guess. But it's funny just because I'm laughing because one of our team members is dead. I should be by now, but look at this. My mana is going up. Look at that mana regeneration rate. 96% mana just from smiting. Smiting costs almost 0 mana. Just staying 90+% mana. Pally's going for drinks. And we're not looking too bad defensively right now. I pretty much have every cooldown in the book if something goes wrong. I have mana almost to 100%. Look at that, 97% mana right there, 98% mana, 100% mana. We just hit 100% mana after like 5 minutes of my teammate being dead, so I think that's pretty hilarious. And look at our offensive pressure. Warlock's forced to get that sack from the Paladin. Throw out a mind control right there real quick. I'm trying to top myself back up, use that Serenity to top myself quickly. Once again, want to stay in that Vim range. Paladin, Bubbles, I do mass Dispel it off. My Shaman's playing a little aggro, but he does utilize line of sight very, very well, and making sure he's not going to just die in there. He's going to use the corners to his advantage, not let any Chaos Bolts get off, not get too many dots on himself, and he's totally fine over there. I, on the other hand, have to fade to immune that Chaos Bolt. I get stunned up in the open. I'm running to my Shaman, trying to dispel that Mind Bomb if I can, dispel the Mind Bomb there. Trying to stack with my Shaman a little bit so I can line of sight with him instead of playing so far. But look, using these corners to my advantage. Every time they're casting, I just slip around the corner, just like, I think I said this yesterday's video, but just like Athene, just slip around the corner. To this day, it's a very good strategy to avoid all that incoming damage, right? And every time my Shaman gets coiled, every time my Shaman gets Mind Bombed, I'm going to go ahead and dispel that. And yeah, just keep up the renew, keep the prayer mending. Pally's going for a drink right now. In the room, I think my Shaman goes and stops him from getting to full mana. If he does get to full mana, we could probably still win, but the mana advantage is definitely something we're going after. Pally's 15% mana, I'm back at 100%. Holy Priest mana regen, even after the nerfs, man, are just insane, and the ability to heal through spread pressure is insane. So you guys might be wondering, are Holy Priests still OP? Is like, should they be nerfed more? I don't know. In this type of situation, Holy Priests shine, right? Holy Priests absolutely shine against Boomkins, against Shadow Priest, against Warlocks, against any type of spread pressure. They're incredible because of that prayer mending build. Prayer mending and renew can just keep everyone alive, and you don't even use mana. Look at this, 100% mana still, and we're both full HP. Nothing's happening just because I can keep renews and prayer mendings up, and that's enough to keep everyone alive. Should that be nerfed? I don't know. Maybe a little bit. Renew just got nerfed as well. Maybe the prayer mending needs to be nerfed. But at the end of the day, it kind of goes back to the argument we were having the other day. Should we nerf things, or should we just buff other things? Should we nerf what's strong, or should we buff what's weak? With Holy Priest right now, they're terrible against something like a Feral Hunter, like a Jungle Cleave. They're terrible against like a TSG, a DK Warrior. They're terrible in some matchups. Holy Priests aren't very good when you have to just get CC'd and then heal through heavy single target damage. Because what's my single target? Serenity. What's the cooldown on Serenity? 1 minute. I don't have that much single target throughput. If someone's just one target's being trained, you can play greater heal, but then at the end of the day, if you're being CC'd, if you're being CC'd and the chain's going long, and then you Serenity them, and then you get CC'd more, and he just dies. I mean, what do you really have? You have that Ray of Hope on a 1 minute cooldown now. It just got nerfed from 45 seconds to 1 minute. You have Guardian on that, 3 or 4 minute cooldown as well. Then you have that Serenity. So once all of your cooldowns are out, you're kind of just sitting there casting Flash Heal. And if you get kicked, grip, CC'd, anything like that, it's pretty much GG. So this is where Holy Priest shines. I don't know. I don't know if they should be nerfed if this is the one area that they're good at. But to be fair, in this area, they are specialists. Like, no other healer probably could pull this off without. I mean, maybe another healer could pull this off, but it would be, way more difficult, way more, like, skill-intensive, way more, you would be you'd have to go for drinks, you'd have to, really set up stuff. We weren't even in Skype. We basically just said, yeah, just line of sight and dampen them, and we'll kill them in dampening, and we kind of just went from there, right? No, I don't think this would be possible without playing, like, close to skill capped on another class, and really just, doing outstanding plays to extend the game, and you definitely have to be in some type of voice communication. I can fast forward through this game a little bit as it goes on, but yeah, I'm not sure what the dampening's at right now. If I had to guess, I'd say probably above 50% right now. And look at my mana, still about 80-90%. Actually, it might be a little bit lower because in 2s dampening starts immediately. In 3s it takes a second before dampening kicks in. But as we fast forward through this game, just a tad bit, same type of things happening. My Shaman and I are line of sighting. We're not taking too much damage. I do kind of get caught sometimes when I'm coming between the room and the pillar. But if they're crunching up too much on our pillar, then we want to extend the game, like kite the game out to one of the rooms. We can run pretty much run around all around the map as long as we're not in the open for an extended period of time, so the Warlock gets those Chaos Bolts out. If the Shadow Priest gets his dots out, it's not that big of a deal. Once again, I almost like the Shadow Priest dots out. The Shadow Priest dots really allow me to heal, if that makes sense. You guys might be like, wait, what? If the Shadow Priest dots are out, it allows my Prayer of Mending to bounce to my Shaman and back to me. So if the Shadow Priest dots weren't there, it would almost be harder to heal, and I would go faster, because I'd have to just spam Flash Heal or Normal Heal, or my other heal abilities, instead of just using Prayer of Mending. So the Shadow Priest is almost like a negative asset to their team, as weird as that sounds. To be fair, though, if this team set up a really good kill, they could kill us. It's not like it's impossible. They have Haj, they have the Coil, they have the Mind Bomb, they have the Silence. If they chained that all really well, they could definitely just kill me or my Shaman. But the way we're playing makes it so it's very, very difficult to do that. Skipping forward a little bit more, we're back here on this middle pillar. I'm pretty sure the dampening, I don't even know what the dampening could be at until I mouse over it. But yeah, probably closer to 50% now, a couple minutes further into this game. Keeping the Renews up, using my Dispel for dot sometimes, but I really like using my Dispel for that Mind Bomb or the Coil if I can save it for that. If you Dispel, say, VT and Immolate, something like that, and a Shadow Word Pain, and you don't have your Dispel for the Mind Bomb, it could definitely put you in a world of hurt. As you see, as the dampening sets in a little bit, my mana is getting lower. It's 60% mana now. Pally got a shrink off, and he's back up to like 90%. So we're losing in mana a little bit, but I think our pressure and dampening is going to be great enough to actually overcome these guys if I can keep my mana healthy, keep my cooldowns healthy, and go from there. Dispel that Mind Bomb on my Shaman so we don't get double stunned. The Coil does come out. Go ahead and Fade Immune that. Put up my Holy Ward as well. Keep line siding with the Shaman. Fast forwarding through the game a little bit more. We forced a Dispersion onto the Shadow Priest with a nicely timed stun. Just a bunch of Ellie Shaman damage. Flame Shocks in all 3. Spamming out those Lava Bursts when he can. Fear's coming out. We stun it. We just have the stuns, the shears, the restuns. It's probably so annoying. I think all of our stuns are undispellable as well. You can't dispel that Ellie Shaman stun. You can't dispel the Holy Priest stun, which may be something that could possibly be changed about Holy Priest, is that stun is undispellable, which is pretty wacky. Still, I'm actually going up in mana a little bit, 70-80% mana now, but I am below 80% health, which means my Vim is not giving me that healing bonus that I really do need to keep us alive. I'm casting Heal. Heal is a more mana efficient heal behind the pillar. Shaman, I grip him away from the Chaos Bolts. It was actually a good grip, but I don't think I had that Dispel for that Mind Bomb. So we got double Mind Bomb, but I still think that kind of kept him alive. a little bit here. He's Ray of Hope, and I guardian him as well because I wasn't sure how negative or positive that Ray of Hope was. Didn't want him to just flop. But yeah, as this game's getting a little bit closer, the Pally's going for a drink. I'm at 60% mana. I have no Ray of Hope, no Serenity, no Guardian. So things are definitely getting a little sketchier as time goes on. But once we kind of find our groove or just line of sighting, I'm not going to let them take us out if we just play like this. Dispel that Mind Bomb from my Shaman, keeping the renews on both of us. And let's fast forward just a little bit further through the game. Here we're just in the starting room. Both of us get coiled. Looks like I'm going to get feared off of that. I actually do Holy Ward, immune that fear, line of sighting the Warlock. I'm constantly panning my camera back and forth, guys, so that I can see where the Warlock is, what he's casting on me, and how to line of sight. People will be like, why are you spazzing your camera out? Like, constantly looking around in the arena match so I can have good positioning, so I can outplay them as far as where I'm positioned, depending on where they're casting, etc. If I'm just sitting in the open and I'm not really aware of where I am, then it's very, very easy to just die and be like, oh, how did I die? It's a death stroke. Oh, that chaos will hit me for 2 million. What a dumb game. It's very easy to blame something like that. But if you're aware of every cast being casted, if you're aware of everything, every little minute thing, then you can be like, oh, I was mispositioned right here. I shouldn't have let that cast go off, etc. But yeah, saving those dispels for the right time. Mana is hovering around 50%. The dampening, once again, I don't know what the dampening is right now. So there's 8 minutes left. I don't know. I guess 70%, 60-70% if I had to guess. I'm not really too sure, but look at these guys. They're all about half HP. We're really rotting them down now that dampening is setting in. Pally's going We're a little bit ahead in mana. I think our rot pressure is a little bit better as well. And I have Ray of Hope, I have 2 stacks of Light of Tear, and I have that Serenity kind of going into dampening. No Guardian available, but I might have it a little bit later in this game. Look at my Shaman. I actually want to rewind that just for a second. He's casting the Chaos Bolt, and with all of his cooldowns, if that connects, it's so hard to top my Shaman. My Shaman, I'm not by a pillar, but he just flips around the corner right to here on that Chaos Bolt cast, and he doesn't allow that Chaos Bolt to go off. Knocks him on his Summon Fell Hunter cast. My Shaman's playing out of his mind, just keeping that positioning as a priority, right? Not overextending, not going for a kill too much and just letting himself die. Because at this amount of dampening, guys, once the dampening at 60, 70, 80%, you really cannot compromise positioning for just about anything. Shadow Priest does Trinket and Dispersion there, so that's definitely a kill potential for later in the match as dampening gets a little bit deeper. Once again, we only have 2 players in this game, so it's not easy to just set up a kill and burst someone down. It's almost like we almost need to just completely dampen them if we want to win this game, because they just have so many cooldowns. They have peels, and they have an extra player on their team. This is a 2v3 for crying out loud, so it's very difficult. I have that Ray of Hope I'm spamming into, and it's still slightly negative. At this point, I think it's around probably 80 to 85% dampening, and I am just spamming my heals to try somehow, some way to keep him alive. But every heal, look at this, every heal I do is barely healing him. His health is barely going up. Pally's in the room drinking, still spamming. That's 78% dampening. I finally got that pause skill play there on that dampening mouse over. 78% dampening here with 7 minutes remaining in the game. They're all so low. The Mind Bomb comes out. Dispel that Mind Bomb. My heals at this point just are not working anymore. Spamming heal, but his health is not going up. Don't have Ray of Hope, don't have Guardian for another 15 seconds. If we can survive then, we might be able to. At this point, though, my Shaman is pretty much stuck at the health he's given, but they are dealing with the same thing we are. They can't heal really either. At 80% dampening, 85% dampening, there is no way we're going to be able to top ourselves off after this. It would take like a solid minute of just spam healing, right? Divine Hymn, so much healing, and it's still not really doing anything at all. Divine Hymn with that Prayer Mending out, keeping that Prayer Mending out. I'm below 80% health now, which is very unfortunate. I lose my Vim, and I don't think there's any way I can top myself back off. Ray of Hope him just for the heal bonus. Spamming heals as best as I can. The Paladin on the enemy team is completely out of mana. I'm completely out of mana too, surprisingly enough. But, you know, at about 85% dampening, what can you really expect? My shaman's poking in, getting some damage, getting some more flame shocks, giving some more lava bursts. They're all so low. They're all dying and dampening. Using that guardian just for the heal bonus once again. Don't really care about the actual effect. Besides that, just spamming heal to try to keep my shaman alive. And the Destro Warlock goes down, shortly followed by the Shadow Priest going down, shortly followed by the Pally going down. We do get that triple kill there, and that game was just insane. We were playing, okay, so this was around 1900 2k MMR. You can see the damage breakdown right here. My Ellie Shaman's just killing it with the damage, the line of sight, the healing breakdown. Absolutely, just I was so happy about this game. Right when we played this game, I'm like, that's definitely going on to YouTube. So guys, I hope you liked this crazy, insane 2v3, 87% dampening match in the end. That almost got to 90%, and there was only a few minutes left of that game before it actually timed out. If you enjoyed the game, guys, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can thumbs it down. That's okay too. Talk to me in the comments about what you want to see for next time, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace!